We don't know what money is.
I don't know. I don't even want to think about how that looked like.
Like really, like how we are broke, bro. We are officially poor.
Yeah.
We are so poor. It's not even funny. Oh my god. Welcome back to another episode of F1Talk, and man, do we have a bunch of stuff to cover this episode.
I don't even want to think about it.
How you doing, man? How was your weekend?
It's good. It's plenty of goodness.
That's good to hear, because man, we're getting flooded with the rain over here.
Yeah, crazy. Also in Southern California as well.
Oh yeah,
Heavy raining.
We're just getting killed by all of this stuff, man.
Yep.
But man, speaking of rain, when it rains, it pours. Last week we were saying we weren't sure about what to cover, and all of a sudden there's a ton of news this week for us to go over.
I mean, because we have like almost a month left of new season start, so of course we're gonna have some pretty insane, well, not insane, but pretty stupid news.
Some of it's stupid, some of it is definitely insane. So let's start with the stupid, and then we'll end up in the insane. How's that sound?
Oh my gosh.
So with the stupid, we have Mohammed bin Sulayem bringing back the ghost of Michael Massey. You know, he commented this last week that if it wasn't for the toxic negativity of social media, Michael Massey would have kept his job. And I don't understand what this guy is thinking. First of all, the guy screwed up. He absolutely screwed up.
The guy gave Max a win, basically.
Yeah, and they admitted it. It was human error. They completely admitted that he was at fault. He did something that he shouldn't have done. It's not toxic. Like, yes, okay, were people toxic? Were people sending him death threats? Absolutely. But that's no different than, let's say, a soccer goalie, not blocking a penalty shot and costing the game in a or football match,
or like the referee accidentally kicked the ball into the goalie, and then give the other team a point. And then they say, "Oh, this is legal."
Exactly. So the guy, created one of the greatest upsets in modern history in motorsports. He shouldn't have kept his job. So I don't understand why Mohammed bin Sulayem is poking the bear of the fans. And in this case, the fans are the bear, right? I don't know if he's trying to do this in order to generate some excitement, some controversy before the new season. But if he is, it's stupid. Let it just go. We're all pissed off. We all still are holding on to that rage.
Yeah, and we're all way past that point. Just move on.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't even mention Michael Massey himself. Michael Massey.
Thank you. Just let the situation die.
Otherwise, Mohammed bin Sulayem, you're gonna get attacked by the fans if you keep on bringing it up.
Thank you, exactly.
And then I don't think you can keep your job too,
dude. That's the thing. It just reinforces and casts a negative light onto the FIA. Period. And the sport as a whole.
Yeah, Yeah, and we are all trying to move on, and then you're trying to bring it back up. Why?
Well, exactly. What purpose does it serve?
Why?
Right. So I don't know. It's just really frustrating. To hear him take the side of a guy who clearly, had there was just cause in order to fire him due to dereliction of duty, due to completely rigging the result of an entire season, right? And then 2 years later, it's not 1 year later, it's literally 2 years later, the guy is bringing it back up. And again, it's why? What's the point? Unless you're willing to go back and undo the results from 2021, then why even bring the issue up, right? And again, like, yes, is there toxicity on the internet? Of course, everybody knows that. But it's not, there's so many other examples that he could have referenced that really, why did he have to choose the most inflammatory one, Like, genuinely.
I don't get it. I genuinely don't get it. I don't get what his intentions are, but I don't want to get it. Actually,
thank you. So let's try and let this thing die.
Yeah, just let it go, man. Just let it go.
Yeah, we've all tried to move on the best we can and try to forget that abomination of a season ender, and let's look to the future, okay? And right now, so we didn't really cover it much in our last episode, but Andretti has secured a team member, a partner in General Motors / Cadillac.
Cadillac.
Yeah.
Cadillac, yeah.
And what's the most interesting and compelling thing about this story is really not the team up for us as Americans, I think the most compelling thing that's really come out of this story is seeing Max Brown and especially Toto Wolff.
Brown.
Yeah, Zach Brown. Sorry,
Max.
Yeah, Max. Yeah, everything is Max, man.
Max and Massey, man. What the
hell? Thank you for catching me. But seeing Zach Brown and Toto Wolff, especially, coming around. They're saying this is a compelling sort of new bit of information, new opportunity. I don't know. What are your thoughts, Joe?
Like, the last time we had a new team coming in is Haas,
right?
And they are not a car manufacturer by any means. And this time we are having a new team, potentially having a new team, which is Americans' biggest, United States' biggest company, GM, Cadillac. It's exciting because Cadillac has created some pretty cool car.
And when they put their mind to it, they can make a really cool car, yes.
Yeah, and also having this type of American car company coming into Formula One, it's gonna give, of course, the American audience some hope, hopefully.
Yeah.
And then also American drivers as well.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can have technology from Cadillac that can be playing a part of Formula One, the pinnacle for motorsports. So I am like from the last video we say we don't really care, but from time to time I start to see where the benefits are.
One of the things that you did bring up when we were talking before the video was that there's a concern amongst the chiefs about diluting the prize pool.
Diluting the price, yeah. Yeah.
And I think the reason why maybe Zach Brown and Toto are kind of coming around to the idea of GM being involved is they may bring more revenue into the sport GM, right? Because they're going to now dedicate an advertising budget. They're now going to dedicate like technology, and they're going to have the finances really to be involved. and that may not dilute the prize pool. I don't know.
That might increase the price pool. Who knows? So,
Yeah, I this is something that I think that we should look into in terms of the finances.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, and also like one thing that we should also looking into it is to see if they are going to have their own engine manufacturer or they're gonna buy
Right.
from other company. But from what I know, Cadillac and GM, do they have like in terms of like high performance car? Do they build their own engine? Like they say, the Cadillac, what is that? The one of my favorite cars, CV. What is it called?
CTSV.
Yeah, CTSV. Yeah.
Yeah, they do. They do. All of that is their own. If you think of General Motors, you have to include Chevrolet, and they build the motors for the Corvettes, for the racing Corvette series, all of that. So the one thing though that they don't have per se, if you look at their engine technology versus Formula One engine technology, is they tend to go more of a simplistic route with their engine building. If you know the LS series of engines, they're very robust, but it's because they're incredibly simplistic. They don't usually go with like dual overhead cams, high revving,
And they don't have
stuff,
do they? And they do they have hybrid?
They do, but again, not to my knowledge, and I could be wrong. They don't have the kind of hybrid systems that we see in Formula One. Yeah,
I mean,
but do they have the money and the technological know-how? Yes, I imagine they do. I imagine.
So I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they build their own engine as an engine manufacturer. It would be cool, but I would not also be surprised that they buy from other manufacturers like Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, Honda. Yeah.
My suspicion is in the beginning, they may do kind of like what Red Bull did, is for a number of years, they'll have an engine supplier contract while they use that time and that opportunity to develop their own engine,
Yeah, that would make more sense because they just it's a brand new platform from them. So.
Exactly. And I think that even if I were them, that would be the prudent decision. Yeah, exactly. Because you need to know what are the failure points. You need to know what are the opportunities, and to come out of the gate with a wholly new, untested engine and platform and all of that stuff in compliance with the rules is not easy at all, actually.
Now, aside from the engine, the aerodynamic, the body, and
precisely,
all that stuff, because I mean, Mario Andretti is a well-known American racing.
Even internationally,
Yeah, so they know how to build race car, from the ground up, aside from the engine. So from that part, I wouldn't be so worried.
Exactly. Like, I do believe that they can manage the chassis side of things. Right. But the engine, I'm willing to bet they'll probably team up with Renault Alpine. If I had to place a bet, actually.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I
mean, it's like what they will, if they are actually coming in, it's gonna be 2026, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
That's something that I'd have to double check. Yeah. But and that's assuming that their bid is accepted.
Right. Yeah.
So and even then, 2026 is going to be our next substantial rule change. So
engine change. Yeah.
Exactly. So even more reason why they would buy an engine versus trying to start from scratch. But then again, if their bid gets accepted, they have how many years to develop a platform?
They have
so,
at least 3 years. At least
Yeah.
3 years.
minimum. So we'll see. We'll see. Now, next piece of news is in terms of teams like teaming up. An old historic organization looks like they're going to team up with Williams, and that's Gulf Oil, which is really interesting.
Yeah. I mean, Gulf Oil was with partner with McLaren last time out. Yeah, I don't exactly know what Gulf Oil is, to be honest. Like, what do they actually do?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely something we see more overseas than we do here in the U.S.
I mean, I'm imagine it's like Petronas.
Right,
Like,
right.
So they will develop the liquid, the oil inside, the Formula One car.
Yeah.
But one thing I have to say, man, the Gulf Oil's livery looks awesome. Their marketing, their image, branding,
it's legendary.
Yeah.
It's legendary, And I don't know, it's such an interesting thing, like, and especially of all teams, why Williams, Like,
yeah. I mean, like, one thing I can think of is because Williams is also a historical Formula One team. So having two biggest historical Formula One like team and partners coming up, racing partner coming up together, racing brand coming together, it's gonna be a big push of the audience, the Formula One itself, the whole grid, and all that stuff.
True.
Yeah.
But Williams has got to deliver on the performance, man. That's the main thing.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully that will bring up to the next news. Hopefully they can have the better performance, right?
Yeah. And to what Joe is talking about is the bombshell news that somehow Williams has secured the chief strategist from Mercedes, which is insane, James Valls has left, Mercedes to become the team principal.
Yeah. I mean,
which is crazy.
Having Williams and Mercedes, I'm not so surprised because Williams and Mercedes like brother and sister team.
Fair.
Like they have. Look at George Russell. It's Mercedes academy per se. And then when last year when Hamilton had the COVID, they actually bring in George Russell from Williams to drive Hamilton's car.
Yeah.
That says a lot because the partnership between Williams and Mercedes is just strong.
Yeah.
In terms of this type of relationship.
But
man,
so
cheap strategies is still crazy.
Yeah, and so I wonder because I mean he was their chief strategist throughout the entire period of Mercedes domination in the sport. And for them to lose him, I wonder how it's going to shake things up at Mercedes.
Yeah. I wonder how it's and also like how it's going to shake things up in Williams. So.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Joss Capito definitely didn't seem like he could kind of pull things together for Williams like they were hoping he would. But I don't know. Maybe James is going to come in and really kind of like shake things up for them and show them how they can really maneuver,
Yeah.
But that also is, happening at the same time where they no longer have Latifi and, all of this stuff. So Williams is going through a big shakeup.
Who is driving for Williams next year? Alex Albon and who else?
Albon and I can't remember the other guy. I mean, I can always look him up. But let's see. Williams drivers 2023. Here we go. Oh, here. Williams officially confirmed second driver of the 2023 season. Logan Sargent.
Okay.
So,
Okay. I don't know he is.
Yeah.
Actually. Yeah.
Apparently, he's an American driver. And
Okay.
so, he got approved and he should be good. So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, Alex Albon will obviously take the lead position
Be the number
there.
one. Yeah.
Yeah. But, we'll see.
It's actually quite exciting for next
Williams.
seasons. Yeah.
And I wonder if that Gulf Oil partnership was contingent on James coming in as chief strategist.
Yeah, that we don't know. We'd have to do some more digging.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But let's finish it up with one of the biggest pieces of news. Mm-hmm. The details of Lewis Hamilton's contract have been rumored, and he has signed a new contract extending his time with Mercedes to the tune of $49 million US or 40 million British pounds per year on a 2-year contract extension. So he is looking, Joe, between us, at almost $100 million in the next 2 years.
Damn, man.
Right?
Damn, man.
and if he gets a bonus,
Yeah,
if he wins the championship.
Yeah.
To the
Which
tune
I
of,
hope he can. Yeah.
Right. To the tune of $27 million US bonus. Like, that's crazy.
And bypass Michael Schumacher's record as all-time champ in Formula One history.
Dude, which is absolutely nuts. And then and then there's also discussions about keeping him on as ambassador.
Ambassador, yeah, I was just gonna say the ambassador side of things.
For another 10 years.
Yeah.
Which over those 10 years would get him another $27 million.
Shit.
Yeah. Dude. We don't know what money is.
I don't know. I don't even want to think about how that looked like.
Like, really, like how we are broke, bro. We are officially poor.
Yeah.
We are so poor. It's not even funny. Oh my god. But here's the thing.
But do you think?
Here's the thing. For people at that level, I've heard they spend on average like $3 million plus a year for their lifestyles. You know.
Yeah.
If you think about travel, hotel accommodations, vacations, flying your car around to different countries in order to have your vehicles there, all of that stuff. $3 million a year is a lot of money to be spending.
It is. It is.
So, $100 million. If you're spending $3 million a year, you know, it burns through pretty quickly.
I don't know how to imagine that kind of money
right?
if I have. But one question for you: do you think? I mean, let's put it this way.
Okay.
Do you think he have what it takes to become an 8-time world champion? I mean, we all know he can, but in reality, can he? Because Mercedes' new car and Mercedes, I mean, the concept with W14 is coming out.
Right.
The zero side part is still there. Yeah. But the underbody, the philosophy of the design is different. So, where do you think the car is gonna heading towards in terms of the next year?
So, if we take everything out of the equation, do I think that Hamilton has the ability to win another championship? Absolutely. No questions asked. What genuinely starts to affect Hamilton's capabilities are the vehicle, for one, and two, the strategy. You know,
Yeah.
if he relies a little too much on the strategy and doesn't kind of push for his agenda, we've seen it. He usually ends
Yeah.
up getting screwed, right?
Yeah.
If he's too much of a team player, sometimes it screws him.
He like one thing that he needs to do, at least for me, is that
Yeah,
he needs to become the old Hamilton. He needs to
yeah,
become the old Hamilton that just screw everything, just screw everybody, just drive for himself and drive for the win.
yeah,
Doesn't care about. I mean, of course, he still care about crash. He still care about team orders, but from
yeah.
time to time, you need to be selfish in order to get what you want for the win.
Now, assuming that the car is in top form from day one, and I'm talking on par with, Red Bull and Ferrari, then I do think we're going to have a very exciting season ahead of
Yeah,
us.
we will talk about the technology and the engine, the design of the car in the other video. But
Yeah, as more information comes out.
yeah, but from what the rumors are, seems like Mercedes still using the zero side pod, but the design philosophy of the car underbody is gonna be so totally different from
Yeah,
the W13. So
yeah.
it's quite exciting news, but still the Bahrain testing is still a month ahead. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
And that's the thing, right? Like, I don't think you can judge Hamilton's potential from last season because ultimately he was being used as the guinea pig and as
Experiment.
the chief tester
Yeah.
essentially as the season went on. And once they got the car into a decent point around halfway through the season, you could really see his performance like pick up dramatically, you know?
Speaking of that, Sao Paulo, if he didn't crash with Max, if he
Yeah.
didn't have collision with Max, he might went on and
Take the
take the win
podium.
from
Yeah.
Russell. Yeah. So
And
just so you guys know.
that's a big issue, right? Because
Yeah.
Max seems unwilling to crash into anybody other than Hamilton.
But Hamilton, yeah.
Yeah, consistently. And that's an issue. I mean, that needs to be addressed. And he is very conscious of that. I mean, he said as much in his post race interview that he said, oh, I didn't need to, have the win. My position was already determined, but I wanted to make sure that he didn't get the win.
Yeah.
So he knowingly took him out
So
in Sao Paulo.
he drive aggressively
Yes.
to took him out. Yeah.
Yes. Exactly. And so the excitement that I foresee is potentially a repeat of the 2021 season. If Hamilton can be up in full form, then Max, we're going to see the return of Dirty Max. We're
Yeah.
going to see
Yeah.
the return of Max
Of
trying
Max
to win
and
at
Hamilton.
all costs
Yeah.
and trying to take Hamilton out at every turn and opportunity.
Every opportunity he can have.
Yes, exactly. And I genuinely think
Except Michael Masi is not there, so
to
things
help
might be
him this
different.
season. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see. I know that we are going to stick with the 2 race marshal system going into this next season. That's not changing. Even though the drivers have been complaining about that, they don't seem to like it that much. There doesn't seem to be a better solution available quite yet. So Hamilton is really going to need to step up his aggressiveness and show the world that he is still in top form, which I think he
Right.
is.
I think it is. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it last season, the second half. Like,
Like
he has the
Yeah.
balls, he has the willingness. He just needs a car to work with it, you know.
Yeah.
And a team strategy that doesn't favor Russell, basically, you know.
Yeah. But at least it's not like Ferrari.
Yeah, God. Dude, I mean, and that's going to be an interesting one as well, because they've had a shakeup of their team principal. I do think Binotto got the short end of the stick there. But we'll see if this new team principal can turn around and deliver wins for Ferrari. But
Ferrari, yeah.
I'm not necessarily hopeful, you know.
But we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. It's still a month away. Yeah.
If you want my prediction at this stage, assuming the W14 is up to snuff, right? I think it's going to be Mercedes versus Red Bull again. I think Ferrari is going to be thrown into the mix there intermittently, depending on the drivers and their sort of ability to get good, grid positions. Yeah. And I think we're going to see Renault, Alpine, potentially give Ferrari some fight.
Yeah.
And maybe even McLaren up in that, mix.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's my current prediction. I don't think Aston Martin's up to the task yet.
I don't not yet at least. Yet at least. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
and same with AlphaTauri and
it's also not yet.
Yeah. And Alfa Romeo and Williams. I think that's the grid is going to be split from McLaren, Renault, Ferrari, Red Bull, and Mercedes, right? That's going to be the top half of the grid, and then everybody else is going to be down below.
Yeah.
So
no, I'm with you. Three-way battle is probably going to happen next year. Three-way.
It's either going to be a three-way battle or it's going to be a two-way and a three-way below.
Yeah.
That's my current prediction. That's really it.
But for sure, Mercedes is fighting it back because you can see the performance of that W13 car, even though it sucks, but you can still see the philosophy there. It's got performance. It's just not the right body.
It's not the right body, and they need to turn the wick up on the engine, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.